I feel like coaches' kids have higher IQs in a way, because like we have been brought into a life. Like 99% of coaches' kids end up being coaches.
Tell us about your family a little bit.
I was the only child for about 15 years, I think.
Wow.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Z Azhani.
It girls. Maddie Berezowitz Azhani Tealer.
I'm lit girl. Podcast with a couple it girls.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm lit girl. Podcast with a couple it girls.
What's up, guys? That's Brez, and I'm Z, and welcome back to the It Girls podcast, where we're telling the stories of winning women every day. And we are so excited to have on a really recent national champion in Kateri Poole at LSU women's basketball. Kateri, welcome, and thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Your resume is pretty insane. I was stalking you, and you're like number 5-star. You're a 5-star recruit, 24 in your class. You're from the Bronx. All these things. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx. I kind of just grew up like, playing all types of sports because like there's public schools, Catholic schools. So like I was always in and out of which school I was at. So I think like, just having a lot of good people in my family and in my life, they allowed me to like, be free, like open-minded and in like a free spirit about like what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
I did like touch a basketball when I was like 5, like under the whistle, maybe like 7. But like I was doing all types of stuff like gymnastics, ballet, football. Like it just ranges. So like it was like kind of crazy. And I think like once I realized I was pretty good, like you just kind of stick with it. And then you got your mom mad because you picked basketball over ballet. You know what I'm saying?
And you
So, Kateri,
yeah, go ahead, Dad.
No, I was just gonna say, what all sports did you play? You played ballet. You were in ballet. Played football. Yeah. Did you play tennis? You said you like tennis. Did you play tennis?
I like tennis now. I found a passion for tennis now.
Okay,
but I've never played one.
That's
maybe
dope.
like
That's
on the Wii.
On the Wii.
Yeah.
yeah. Same.
Recently,
Yeah.
I've been picking up a tennis racket, and me and my roommates go to the park and play. And I've never felt so unathletic in my life. For one, I have terrible depth perception. Like I can't see the ball. I don't even know where the ball is going. But I would consider myself pretty athletic, and tennis does not apply there at all.
Yeah. When I first started, I was kind of, shaky, especially because like we're so hard on our feet. You know what I'm saying? You got to like be light and like more mobile.
Yeah,
and then I don't know. I just kind of, it's a fun game to figure out. Like, you see Serena Williams and all these other people like playing it as like an actual sport. And it's like, wow, this is an actual sport. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like just finding passion in other things.
For sure.
Yeah.
Z always says like Z's got like the body that would kill tennis if she would have played. But Z, you just never like played growing up, did you?
I took
that was a money making.
It's a big regret. I took 2 lessons and I wasn't bad at it. I just never did it anymore. And it's looking back, I probably could have been a millionaire right now. Probably would not be doing this podcast if I was doing that.
Okay, Kateri, going back to your family. So do you have siblings? Like, were you raised in a big family, small family? Like, was it all around sports? Like, tell us about your family a little bit.
I was the only child for about 15 years, I think.
Wow.
So, but I'm 20. I'm about to be 21 in November. And like maybe, 15, I want to say, I found out my dad was, and my stepmom was having a baby. And I'm like, well, like, you waited till I'm basically like out of my teenage years. So my little sister, when I was like 15, I think she's going to be 7.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And then the year after that, maybe like a day after my birthday, my mom gave birth to my little brother. So it was like, and now I have
my gosh.
I have like a 2-year-old. So like it's just my mom has one. and my dad-
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I have a brother. He's
Oh,
15.
so yeah, but Z. Yeah.
I said I have a brother and he's 15 now. But
Oh
like
my gosh.
growing up, I was 8 when he was born, and I thought like that 7.5 year gap was really big, and that's nothing compared
No,
to
there's no way. Well, like
Yeah.
they're like like they're a new generation. So like sometimes I feel old when I like talk to them.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like
absolutely. No,
I got my little sister sending me TikToks like throughout the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
You're 6. What are you doing? on your phone?
That's hilarious. Okay, wait. Going
And
back to being
their cartoons are so different too.
Oh yeah, I'm still
Shoot, Z. I don't know if you know me.
watching old shows and movies.
yeah, nothing
They don't
compared to
know
our Disney
anything
Channel.
about that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right, Kateri, going back to the Bronx, this idea of like basketball is different on the West Coast than is the East Coast. I saw a lot of pictures of you playing in like streetball tournaments and pickup games, and there's people all around. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so my uncle is actually the commissioner of Dykeman Streetball
Wow.
tournament, and I mean, my dad
That's
grew
awesome.
up playing basketball. He went to St. Bonaventure, and then right after college, like he had me, so like he had to make a decision to like possibly go pro or like help out with a family. And fortunately, like my dad instilled everything that he had into me, and just put me in the right position to like be around the right people. And like he has great connections. He's very smart. Like I believe when I was like maybe 4, like 7-ish, like he was a juvenile corrections officer.
Wow.
And like like you see different life stories and stuff, so like he kind of just wanted me to be on the right path. And I actually lived in those buildings behind Dykeman for about 2 to 3 years. And he would have a team in there, like young guys. He's also a coach now at Hostos Community College in New York. So like, it was just like very local for him.
Okay.
And he just had all the right resources and just helped me get there too.
Yeah. Was your dad big in coaching you when you were growing up, or did that only start recently?
It's kind of, how like AAU is, like your parents get close with the coach, and then they get close with the, administrator, and then they end up being the coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, I think, like for like little tournaments, like there is this, New York's pretty big and has like different recreation centers, like YMCAs and stuff like that. Yeah. So we ended up moving, and he lived down the block from Jackie Robinson, which is like a place down there that like, you just go and just have it's a recreation center. You can do whatever. But then he got close with the coach that ran the PSAL league there, or the police authority league or something like that. Yeah. And like we ended up like going places in New York, just like playing against other teams that were like, trying to build their brand too, like in their teams and stuff. So I think like, I don't know how to explain it. He just had everything. It was like my dad was a wizard at one point. Like he was just pulling all types of strings, but he had too much going on. And like, that was it. Once Dykeman became big, like, they made a women's league maybe like 4 years ago. Like it was strictly men's for years. And then they saw the young people coming out of high school. They saw the college kids coming back. This is when New York started to grow. So they just kind of bought into it.
Okay, Kateri, my question is, my dad is a basketball coach, like a varsity coach at our high school. Obviously, you're talking about your dad being a coach. And I think what's cool about being raised by a coach is, well, one, like they're tough on you, but they're not like, I feel like coaches' kids have so much better perspective than parents who aren't coaches, just because like, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? I just feel like coaches' kids give better perspective.
I feel like coaches' kids have higher IQs in a way, because like we have been brought into a life. Like 99% of coaches' kids end up being coaches, even if it's like babies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're teachers. Like they're we just like learning and then giving it back. So like, I totally get what you're saying, because you can be more receptive of hearing it from your dad or like your mom, even if she was a coach, instead of like an actual coach with like, you've been here before. You know what I'm saying? Some coaches just don't even know what they're talking about. So
good point. Speaking of coaches, talk about the infamous LSU coach. Talk about, she is something else. Like, first of all, obviously the outfit choices are, I think, unbelievable. That may be a unpopular opinion, but I think they're unreal. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm from Dallas, and so I drove up to Waco all the time. I was the biggest Baylor basketball fan. So I have plenty of posters signed by Kim Mulkey. She did not dress like that at Baylor. That Louisiana brought that out of her, man.
He's just, her resume speaks for itself. And just being able to be a part of her like coming home story. Because I don't know if you guys read her book. She has a book out, and I think she's she's writing another one soon. And I actually got the opportunity to read the book before I came here, like when I committed and everything. Like, I was like, Coach got a book, like, let me just read it. And you just learn so much about her. And then when she's actually your coach, it's like, she talks about these things, and it's not like she's like fibbing or like, trying to like play the part, but like she's actually herself. Yeah. And I think a lot of people like don't understand that either. Like she didn't come to LSU for one other reason, but to give back to her community. Mm-hmm. And like, as being a player here and even a student, like if I was a regular student here, like I would definitely buy into her story. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing how like much the team does it for LSU as a whole and not just like themselves, like being unselfish with what we do, like always giving back and just being like, supported is just like amazing. And it's because of the coach that we have too.
Yeah. And I think one thing about her that everyone can see, even if you don't know her, is like she is so demanding and like gets so much out of her players. Talk about playing for her in that aspect. Like she's obviously going to get on your butt, but she's getting the best out of everyone.
When I first transferred in, like, I was excited. I also like was still in a mood, like, at my last school, like it wasn't anything other than just like me, just not buying in a way. I was young when I went to college. I think I was like 17 or like
what?
I think so. Yeah. I started college when I was 17.
Wow. Yeah, that's young.
Just like being the star where you're from, like it wasn't like a humbling experience because I was very open to like, learning new things, just patiently waiting. I was a freshman, at a P5 and, I was ready to go then, but like I wasn't being real with myself. I was like, what can I do to get better? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my sophomore year, like I had like a better season, but then I got injured. So it was like adversity just kept piling up. So then when I finally entered the portal, freshman year, we also didn't have the opportunity to play in a tournament. We got banned for something that had like nothing to really do with us, but like, like they're very strict. So I think sophomore year, after getting to like be in the, March Madness for the first time, instead of actually sitting back and watching it, like, we're actually here, we ended up playing LSU. And like,
you guys beat them, no?
Yeah. But that but like, like we were so pumped to just be in that situation because the year before that, we basically returned everybody. And like the year before that, like we couldn't really do nothing, So like, it was like, we're finally here, they got us to lose first round. We ended up winning, you know what I'm saying? Like we did this P16. It was just an unreal experience. And I was taking everything in. And when we ended up playing them, like I just saw the atmosphere and I was just like, I'm kind of ready to go. Who can I play for?
Yeah.
And then I ended up like, telling my family, like I called them and I was like a week later, like I just kept watching that game and like how different the energy made me feel. Like I'm talking about, it was packed. And like just seeing her in live action, you know, like her dedication, her passion, like after being a kid and actually watching her coach, like who people we look up to now, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. I kind of just, she just is different. This year, like I kind of was in that mode of like, you know, not really caring when I first got here. Just like, you know, I left, like I was still in a bad headspace. And like, she's a person that cares about people. Like, you know, she's calling you instead of talking about basketball. She's like, how you feeling? Like, you know, how's your family? Is there anything
cool.
I could pray for you about? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can talk to me. Like, we have all the research. Like, she's very adamant about like, if you feel not okay, like come talk to me.
Yeah.
Like she has that relationship with all of us where we could like joke with her and she'll throw something back. Like, you know, like a couple of times, like I'm very quiet, but like when I'm in a mood, I'm in a mood. And like, she'll be like, you're not from New York. Like, you're not from the Bronx. You from like, she'll say little slick stuff. And like, you know, just being able to joke with her is pretty cool. Cause it's like, she's legendary.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, she's going to get on you. We've had our rough patches, but you know, she's very, very honest and genuine. So that's all you can really ask for from a coach.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's cool that Kateri, that you say like that you have the perspective, like look back on your freshman year and be like, yeah, not only am I a different player, like I'm a different person. Like I care so much more now as, what are you technically, a junior?
Well, now I'll be a junior, but I'm a senior.
Yes. Okay. So, you know, just like having that perspective of like looking back and seeing your growth. Z, I can't even count how many people that we've played with that it's like when they come in as a freshman, you're like, whoo. And then sophomore, you're like, okay, like this is getting, you know.
90% of everyone you play with. And consider it's like, honestly, everyone grows a lot, but you came into college at 17. Like,
it's crazy.
You don't know anything at 17 years old. Like, not even 18, but 17 is crazy. And so just.
And it was bad. Like, it was really bad because that was that COVID year. And,
yeah.
I think like I was only taking 2 classes my senior year because I had transferred from Catholic school. So I had a lot of credits and then I went to public school and like, I think I just needed like 2 more credits to like graduate.
Oh my gosh.
So like I ended up doing, school started at like 12 o'clock for me.
That's crazy.
Going into college. And also, Kateri, I'll say this, like the freshmen in college that came in during that COVID year, you all had it hard and like super easy. Like, let me explain what I mean. Because it was this like weird, no one knew what was going on. Like we saw this with our freshman class. It was like, we can't show you what college looks like because everything, like there's nothing to do. Sports don't look the same because our coaches don't know what the hell is going on. Schools doesn't look the same because our professors don't know what the hell is going on. It was just like, we were trying to tell our freshmen, we're like, this is not college. Like, just trust us. Like, give it like a year. Like, it's not college, it just made it so tough on you all that came in that year.
I had LaDeja Williams, my teammate this year. Like, she went to school with Angel Wilson. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
crazy.
You know, like that was wild to me. And I'm like, you know, you lived and went to 3 different schools and had 3 different eras at that school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You went to school with Angel Wilson, then you went to Mizzou. You was there for COVID. Like, you know, like now we're a new generation. Like, it's so weird, but it's very interesting. Like, you know, you hear stories, you make a lot of friendships, you know, lifelong relationships with people. Like, you know, I still talk to majority of the girls at Ohio State, even the ones that were there before. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, just always pulling for women is just, you know, the thing in college right now. And
loving that.
Amen.
Like, to like, you know, come together and not know, like, you know, like I think it's evolving and it's getting better.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question. You just speak on pulling for women. I think arguably LSU is one of the best female athletic departments in the whole country. You guys have women's basketball, your gymnastics team is great, your track team is great, volleyball is great, like all these sports that are insane. Talk about the camaraderie that comes with that and supporting each other and all that stuff.
I mean, like most of us, like when we see each other on campus or like, if we have events, because like we have a lot of events here at the school for sports specifically, and like student athletes overall. Like even if you're like injured, can't be there. Like it's all for student athletes, and it's just I don't know if it's the Southern hospitality or like that, but like everybody just like has their own story. Like everybody like came to LSU for a reason, and like just being able to see all these people on campus pull for each other. Like we hang out with track all the time, soccer too. Like like it's just like everyone just likes each other, likes the atmosphere that they're in, and I think it's an accepting place because of how the coaches, like every department makes it, and like it's just like especially when you're successful with it. I think a lot of history is at LSU. Not a lot of people understand the history here, and just trying to keep that going. So I think
that's so cool.
Yeah.
We interviewed Coach Cal last year, and he talked a lot about that, how it's really nice when winners hang out with winners, like we hang out, we share a facility with the basketball team, and women's basketball team and gymnastics team too. So it's like same thing as you guys being around winners, just having the same mentality, having the same goals. Like it makes the whole athletic program so much better too.
Yeah. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, speaking of winners, we've gone borderline 20 minutes and haven't even talked about the damn game. We haven't even talked about the game, Azhani. Kateri, we know the feeling of winning a national championship. Like, is there anything sweeter?
I mean, in all honesty, like people ask me all the time or like tell me congrats, and it's like it hasn't really set in yet. If I'm being honest, right. Okay. I thought I was tripping. Like, shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's times where like I run into my teammates if we're working out. Like we don't, we haven't talked. Like everybody got their own thing going on. So like if I see you guys, hey, like I haven't seen you since we won. But like besides that, I think like it just hasn't hit me. I didn't even. I'm a big like watch film type person. I did not even watch that game. If I'm being, and this is month one, like month two. So
I saw. I got it when we won the championship. There was like so many tears going on, like obviously pure joy. But I saw a picture of you holding the trophy, bawling, and I was like, felt and relatable. Like I cried so much that day.
Like it was just so much. Like this year, everybody like was talking about our non-conference schedule, like how like people were breaking records here. Like it was just so much going on. But like I think after our loss in the SEC tournament, like we just all like were like blaming ourselves. So everybody started like helping each other and like, pushing each other. And coach made it very clear, like it was only 2 points. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that we did in practice had to be direct and perfect. And like, it was because we knew where we were supposed to go during that, but we knew where we could go after too. And it was just like, you have to have the will to win. Like you can't just want to be here and like say that you did this. Like we're already here. And our bracket was tough. It was tough. And like,
no joke.
Me and Angel are just going through every game. Like we trying to get past the Sweet 16, like, and then it's like the Sweet 16 last year. Like we had a lot of freshmen. We had a lot of seniors.
9 people on your team were new, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And this year was just a lot of rebuilding for what's about to come. Like laying the foundation for like, like taking in the legacy and keep going. Like just, we talk to all the alumni, like they always show love. And like I said, the history is just everything just ties into history. And just knowing that it was bigger than us for real. Like once we saw, I think it was the Miami game. We were just in South Carolina in Greenville, and I was the Elite Eight, and it was like, we we were seeing how many upsets were happening. We were seeing like, you know, everything that was going on, and we were just trying to do it for each other. Like it became fun. If it became like, you know, like process of elimination, like it was like, it was something that just kept us like, you know, all right, like we just got to win this quarter, you know, like even during the game though, I think Angel, Alexis, and I all fouled out. Like, well, not fouled out. Well, Coach Kim is like 2 fouls in the first half. You're done. You're done for the half. So like we fouled out basically. And we were telling me and Angel were looking like Lex can't foul, and Lex got a cheap one. But it was that type of game, you know. It was going both ways, and I think that like when that happened, everybody knew it was the next man up. Mm. And we were just so pumped to be there. Like, you know, adrenaline just kept us going. And like once somebody got hot, they just kept going. And we like, we're on the bench, like, all right, like it's that type of game, you know, like everybody played their role and played their part because it was bigger than us. Yeah. And like, even that atmosphere, that was just different. Like, how was it for y'all?
So, crazy story. We played during COVID, so it wasn't like that. Yeah. Our whole tournament within a span of like, what, 12 days?
Yeah, it was the bubble, Kateri. So we were in a hotel.
That's awful. But
it was just different. Like it was a different kind of hard. Like we were in a hotel. We played all our games in 12 days. We got tested every morning. The fans total were what, like
probably
less than
4,000.
Yeah, it was just like family. It was still so dope, but it like I would do anything to play in the atmosphere that you played in. Like it's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, ooh.
No, go ahead.
Like coming off the bus, like I think I have a picture. It was just so many Iowa fans. Like
of you.
I was like, ooh, like I got to put my head down, act like I'm texting someone, you know. Like, it felt like the carpet just kept getting longer. Like they just kept rolling, and I'm like, bro, like, what are y'all? Are you trying to set me up? Like, what's up? But I kind of knew, like, going into it, like, it was going to be equal. Like, there was a lot of Iowa fans there, but like our people, you know, showed out, and like they made us hear them. Like, just they were directly across from our bench, so like it was like, you know, like. Every 2 seconds something's going on. Like it's just a fun, exciting game, and like the emotions in it too. Like, you know, like Iowa had a great year. You know, they were the only Big Ten team to like, you know, actually like make it to the chip. Like Ohio State was close too. But like just I don't know. You know, like it was a lot of controversy after, but I think like it was good that it happened because, you know, now people are in tune with like women's sports overall, like, you know, and
amen.
It was just really fun to be. It's fun to like be in it, and then it's fun to see it like on social media and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, Kateri and like Z, I want to hear your opinion on it too. I was, first of all, amazed. I mean, like I was at a birthday party for a 1-year-old when you guys were playing, and it was on every TV. I'm like, this is freaking awesome. Like typically with any women's sport, it's like, let's put an MLB game on, or like, let's watch like the XFL over like the national championship. But in your guys' case with that game, it was like everyone wanted to watch it. Like that is so freaking good for women's sports. Like I could not stop smiling that day. I told Z this story, and you'll like half of it, but half of it you won't like. I went on a walk, and I live like in a really small town, and I like looked at these guys. They were like grilling out. They were like decked in Iowa gear, and my dad's like, cool game. And they're like, yeah, it was great to watch. Like, well, she'll be back, talking about Clark. But I'm like, that's just cool that people are like celebrating women's sports like that, you know? But the controversy pissed me off because I'm like, the headline should be that you guys had, what was it, like 9.3 million viewers, right?
9.9, I think.
9.9
9 point a
million
lot,
viewers.
whatever it is.
Yeah. Like that should be like the only freaking headline, you know, like that's what should be talked about and that you guys won. And then there's all the other BS. I'm like, people are so annoying. But Azhani, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I was on a plane. I was flying back to Lexington, I think, the night you were, and everyone, same thing, before takeoff, had their phones in their hands. I am like, it's great, obviously, amazing, and we want that for every women's sport ever. But I do agree, the controversy, I think, as much as we hate it, is good for the sport also. Like, they talk about that stuff with guys all the time, but as much as we can be in the spotlight, I think that's important. And even if it's BS like it was, and I'm going to come back to it a little bit, but you guys are going to the White House in a couple weeks, right, Kateri?
Yes.
May 26th. And even with President Jill, or what's her name? The First Lady inviting both of you guys to the, I just want to hear about that a little bit, not controversy, but it is really good for us to be in the limelight like that.
Yeah, I think it was pretty cool. I mean, like, you know, obviously people are going to feel a way that she invited both teams, but like, I think it was like pretty cool because it was like, you know, like she was like woman's, I don't know if her thought process is what I'm about to say, but like, I'm assuming that's where her head was. Like, she was probably like, you know, like this game, like brought so much attention. Like, you know, like they both did what they did for their universities, like stuff like that. Why not just invite them both? I don't think she understood the severity of it or like, you know, how people were trying to make it. But like, you know, even if they did that with UConn and San Diego State, you know, like, I don't think it would have been a big problem.
Right.
I think it's pretty dope for anyone to get that experience. And, you know, that there's a lot of history there too. So, I mean, you know, that would have been a dope little, you know, and maybe like, you know, we could have talked more like as different schools, you know, like, it was a big game.
True.
Like, so I don't know. I think we could have benefited from that in a good way. And like, you know, not trying to like, you know, help social media die down. Cause like that'll never happen. But like, you know, kind of like maybe some good memes, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I love that.
So true. So what I was going to say is you talk about like the history at LSU, talking about Kim Mulkey and just like what a great coach she is and her resume. Do you think LSU is going to be like a legendary program? Do you think it has a potential? Do you see that kind of foundation being built? Is that your coach's, is that her goal long-term? Talk about that a little bit.
I believe there's a video out of when she first got here. And when she was talking about like, you know, like putting a banner up and stuff like that. And I think that was only last year, I think, or maybe 2 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah.
And I think, you know, just knowing that we didn't know it was going to come this soon. We didn't know it was going to be this year. We didn't know it was going to be with the people that we had, you know. I think we got the number one recruiting class coming in for freshmen. And I know we have the two biggest transfers in the portal as well with returning people as well. So, like, you know, it's another year of rebuilding. It's more people, more personalities. And just, like, you know, I know she's going to do exactly what she did this year and the year before that. I think she's a woman of her word. And she just pulls for the whole school. Like, I know Coach, she loves baseball because of her son and like her just passion overall. And even with other sports, like you'll catch Coach at like a soccer game or like, you know, like if someone tells her, hey, you should stop by here, she's at the track meet. So like she's very down to earth, very supportive of other women in this program. She talks very highly of other women in this program. She's always, you know, you never know with Coach. Like and Coach doesn't have social media. So when I know something's posted on her, it's not her. And like, it's so funny because like, you know, like you just have to know her to know like she's a jokester. But she's very open and like, it's different from, you know, us being her players and seeing stuff on the media. And like, you know, even people coming at us for no reason, like you don't know Coach, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what people say, but like, you know, she's very cool. She loves her family. So like, just imagine how she is with us. Like, you know.
Right. That's so cool. And I think that like, that's maybe not talked about enough, just like how great she is. And social media can be really great, and sometimes it can be kind of nasty. And so that's pretty cool. Z, what were you going to ask?
Well, last thing on Coach Mulkey, and then we'll move on. We got to know what your favorite outfit of hers is. Out of all the outfits, we got to know number one on Kateri's list.
Well, I can tell you which one I hated. Because when we won, it was the Dalmatian one. Like, it was
polka dots. I figured that's what you were going to say, yeah.
Because, I don't know. It just wasn't, like, it was, I don't know. She gave me, like, disco ball vibes. Like, I was like, Coach, come on. Like, we told her when she walks in the locker room, like, we'll be like, ooh, or like, okay, like, you showing out. At that time, we were just like, all right, what are we doing for this game? Like, we acknowledge that. So, favorite, I liked her pink outfit one, like her pink game one.
Yeah.
Because feathers?
Was it the feathers? It might have been.
Have on the picture.
It might have been, or I think the feathers was for the tournament.
Yeah.
We'll have to look after.
But it was one of those, like, when Coach just, she doesn't do too much. She's not flying away. Because it'll be times where, like, we're in the timeout and we see one of, like, a piece of, like, her stuff, or like it's just so cool. Like, those jackets that have, like, one side up, one side down. Like,
the sequence. Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, sometimes, like, it'll be folding and then we're like, oh, come on, Coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that one and the Kiss Me, it was some St. Patrick's one.
Kiss Me, I'm Irish.
No, I don't think it said Irish. It said
was
something.
It that?
I don't know.
It was that one.
We'll pull up the pictures later.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so funny.
I'm curious. So you guys obviously won the tournament, had a great season. And I think with NIL, people kind of thought there was going to be a lot of distractions coming into teams and a lot of separation with people making more money. You obviously play with two superstars in Angel and Flau'jae. Talk about how that kind of played into the season and how you guys handled that, how they handled that.
They have great PRs, and I don't think they're signed to anyone. I think everybody is, like, family related. But I know Flau'jae's mom is a great, great person for, like, handling that. She's just an entrepreneur and she's a boss. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even since Flau'jae was young,
so cool.
It's kind of been written. An Angel's person, like, she's amazing too. Like, I've gotten an opportunity to speak with her a couple of times, like, be around her, and just seeing how supporting and like just how she cares about my teammates. Like, Angel and I known each other for years, so, like, just seeing her help Angel, like, stay on track, and just get her all these good things and stuff. Like, both of them, just being able to be a part of their journey too, like, and seeing them be, like, themselves and what they aspire to do is just good. Like, it's another story for everybody, like, being able to be with Angel and Flau'jae in a time where women's basketball is, steadily improving. It just kind of, it's cool to see your teammates, like, just be who they want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Bayou Barbie, if you will.
Right.
What's your nickname? Does anyone have a nickname for you besides KP?
I don't know.
Bronx Baller. I'm calling it right now.
Nah, don't do that.
Nah, don't do that.
Sorry, Matt.
Z, do you have any other major ones? No, do you have any other really good ones?
Just, like, going into that championship game, there was obviously a lot of hype around Iowa, around Caitlin Clark. You said that you guys were having a lot of fun, but that surely had to be on the back of your minds a little bit. How did you guys handle her going into the game?
We had, like, 11 p.m. film the night before, and we had, like, a 6 a.m. because, like, the game was so early. And, like, technically, like, when the games are early, like, we don't really shoot around before because, it's early. We need to get our rest. And
yep.
It was, like, not, like, really win or lose, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to the national championship. It was, like, win or lose, like, we lost what we could have gotten.
Right.
So I think, like, everyone was just so ready to play because, you know, you have the tournament and then you have like maybe like 2 days or like 3 days off after you win the last part of like that bracket. So like, I think everybody was just so pumped. Like, it's just, you know, was like, all right, like if I do what I got to do, like I'm good. Like we're good. You know what I'm saying? Once we got into the game and saw like how the game was going, it was a lot of possessions. So like, it was like cherishing every possession and like being able to like just do what we were supposed to do, you know, stick to what coach, and even coaches asking us like what we're doing. We're like, no, what do you want to do? Like, we're not switching up anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just buying in at the right moment and just putting the pieces where the pieces needed to go. It was very exciting though. You know, she comes down, hit a 3. It's like, the whole place is like going crazy. Like, her teammate a pass, her teammate finished a layup. Like, it was like, you know, like, it was just a really, really fun game to play in. Just very fun to like, you know, hear being talked about too, because, you know, even like you got people that will see you outside and just be like, you know, like that game was crazy. Like you guys did this, and when that person did that, and it's like, you're right. Like all of this stuff did happen, you know, like, so it's cool.
And so also,
and how cool that like on campus people are coming. Oh shoot, sorry, Z.
Nope.
I was gonna say, how cool that kids are coming up to you on campus and talking about the game. Like that just shows how much further female sports are getting in terms of like exposure and just people caring about it in general, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like even like, you know, now we're like regular students because basketball's over, but like, you know, we're actually able to be on campus, like consistently be able to go to classes, you know, like, I mean, it's finals week now, but like, even like when we had that period of like after the tournament, the parade and all of that, like just being recognized is pretty cool. And, you know, like, it means like a lot of people knew like whether or not like they're here for like a bio major or like something, like they all watched the game, you know what I'm saying? And I think like we even had a watch party in our gym, and that was like sold out. So like it was just like, you know, like, wow, it's actually pretty dope that like people support LSU.
Yeah. Okay, you guys got Van Lith, you're back, Angel Reese is back, Flau'jae's back, Akira Maurer?
Anissa Morrow.
You guys got her. So what can we expect from LSU basketball next year? Call your shot right now.
I mean, we're going to get after it this summer, and just everybody's going to play their role too. We're going to look for a team that's hungry, that feel like we have something to prove still. You're going to see LSU and what LSU does, truly.
I love it. All right, last question for you, then we're going to let you go. What is your best piece of advice you can give to everyone listening right now?
Just do what you do for, like, you know, if it's not yourself, do it for other people. I think there's a lot of young people that, you know, are growing up into this era, and like it's an era of women and being empowering. And I think a lot of people just think of women as women, you know, like they can't do this, they can't do that. And like, you know, that's childish stuff, but it still happens. And whether or not they're successful with what they do, like support them, because that can go a long way. Support yourself, believe in yourself, and just, you know, put yourself around the right people and find a place that, like, you know, guides you and helps you be the person that you truly want to figure out who you are going to be.
I love it.
Mic drop. I love it. That was so good. Kateri, thank you so much for coming on. We having winners and learning about winners and how their stories is why we want to do this podcast. So thanks for hopping on, and can't wait to follow you this next season.